5 affordable fragrances that smell super expensive. You know the deal. We're in the business of saving money, not spending money. And of course, all of these fragrances smell super expensive, either because they're modeled after more popular niche fragrances or just because they possess a really interesting and really unique olfactive profile. Nevertheless, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on these 5 fragrances in just a little bit, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on these 5 affordable fragrances that smell super expensive, and for me personally, all of these smell super classy, really high class, really refined. Some of them are on the sweeter side of things, but you do have some that are just very exotic smelling. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really, really mean a lot to me. So these are all really inexpensive. I think the cheapest one on this list is like 33 bucks. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive into the video. And I think there's something really interesting and special to discover about all of these. The first one I want to talk about is called Rayhaan Crimson. I may have spoken about this on the channel before. I know I've spoken about this on social media before. This is the brand's take on Creed's Centaurus. Now that's a fragrance that's one of the more recent releases from the Creed brand. It's like $500. It's part of the Amber universe. It's ambery resinous with a heavy dose of cinnamon in the opening. Well, Rayhaan Crimson smells so similar to the Creed counterpart, and this one is incredibly long lasting, which is not the case for a lot of alternatives. Some of them might get very close to the olfactive profile of the original, but they don't last as long. Some of them last a very long time, but they don't smell that similar. So this one, both. It smells very similar to the Creed counterpart, which I own. And this one, oh my goodness, like 10 hours longevity. The performance on this is incredible. And a lot of Rayhaan fragrances that I've tried have had really good longevity. Some of them are average, I'm going to be honest, but this one is way above average. So this is a phenomenal take on Creed's Centaurus. If you like spicy fragrances, you like the cinnamon, you like the darker, colder weather leaning olfactive profiles, I think you're really going to enjoy this one. And of course, I'm not quite sure where you can find this one. It might be available on Amazon. I know it's available on the TikTok shop, which is not helpful for you because you're watching this on YouTube, but definitely look around for this one. If you are a fan of that Creed Centaurus DNA, I think this one did a phenomenal job. Okay, so the next one is not directly inspired by anything. This one is Khamrah Qahwa by Lattafa. And Lattafa makes a lot of inspirations. There's no doubt about that. Nobody's questioning that. And they have a lot. They have Lattafa Eclair, which is similar to Bianco Latte. They have Angam, which is similar to Burberry Goddess. They have so many inspirations. Now, of course, this is a flanker of the original Khamrah, which gets compared to Angel Share. It's not a one-to-one match, but this one basically took that spicy, cinnamony, ambery DNA. They added coffee to it. There's also praline. It's sweet. It has much more of a gourmand vibe than Rayhaan Crimson. This is just super spicy, dark, kind of brooding at times as well. This is more of a night out type of a fragrance. And yeah, you can wear it in like a clubbing environment as well. A lot sweeter. Khamrah Qahwa is a beautiful coffee, praline, amber, cinnamon fragrance with a hint of booze as well. And Lattafa is not only doing a phenomenal job when it comes to their presentations, but they're also doing a really good job when it comes to the lasting power of their fragrances. Everything from Assad, and there's also Assad Bourbon, just so many Lattafa fragrances that I've tried, Teriyaki Intense. They all give me well above average longevity, and this one is no slouch. Presentation on it is gorgeous as well. Clearly inspired by Angel Share by Kilian Paris, but nevertheless, it's an amazing fragrance, and it does smell very, very expensive. We also have a beautiful fragrance by the Dua brand, and this is one that I purchased because I loved the original, which is now discontinued. Never got around to purchasing it, but alas, here we are. I'm so glad. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Two duas in this list. I'll go ahead and talk about this one first because I already started expounding upon it. Amber and Oud. So this is basically the brand's take on Kilian's Amber Oud. And it's exactly what's in the name, Amber and Oud. It's warm, it's a little powdery. It smells so exotic. It's so rich, it's so ambery, it's so warm. And it's such a beautiful olfactive creation. And it's a shame that Kilian's Amber Oud is discontinued because I would have purchased it. And I was on the cusp of buying it. And I purchased so many Kilians. I purchased everything from Straight to Heaven to Vodka on the Rocks. And my goodness, there are so many that I bought from the brand. And this really is one that I should have purchased. But you know what? At least Dua did a really accurate, I mean, in the air, it smells exactly the same. I haven't actually done, I don't think I've done a side-by-side of the two, but this one is super, super close to the original. And I just love having it in my collection for that reason. The other one from the brand that I wanted to talk about is hashtag the Meteor. And this is their take on Louis Vuitton's Meteor. And I love that fragrance because it's just this very clean, floral, citrusy, drier sheets type of a fragrance. And this one also brings it so close to the original. And I own the original. I purchased the original as well. It's a huge compliment getter. Yeah, I know everybody's talking about, you know, Afternoon Swim and Pacific Chill and especially Imagination. Now there's the new Lovers, but I've always had a soft spot for Meteor. And I went to my mall here in New Jersey and I purchased it immediately. I said, I need a bottle of that. It was a hassle. I had to make an appointment and I didn't have an appointment, but there was nobody in the store, but they wouldn't let me in anyway. And I tried to convince the lady. I was like, I know what I want. It's a fragrance. I don't even need to smell it. I don't need any customer assistance per se. I just need you to ring me up. Oh, sorry, sir. You still need to make an appointment. So anyway, I think I went back and I bought it on a different day. Sorry about the rant there, but Meteor is a beautiful fragrance and hashtag the Meteor is pretty darn close. It's not 100%, but it is very, very darn close. Listen, the fragrance in the #1 spot, and I'm a huge fan of the original. I owned it for many, many, many years now. Cinnamon, blood orange, caramel, it's delicious. It is truly one of the greatest fragrances ever made. And I think the fact that people are still talking about it and hyping it up and ranting and raving about it really validates how good it actually is. And, you know, there are 2 or 3 from the brand that I truly love, and the brand is Casa Moratti. I also have Mephisto Gentiluomo here. I purchased this one many summers ago. I have the original Mephisto. I have Italica, which is like one of my favorite gourmands ever. But the other one that I wanted to talk about is called Lira. And that's the one that has the cinnamon, the blood orange, the caramel. It's such a delicious gourmand. And I know it's especially popular among the ladies. Well, there's this fragrance by Aroma Concepts, and it's called Sapphire Ivory. This is so close to Lira. Now, if you look at the note breakdown for this fragrance, you're also going to see blueberries listed in the note breakdown. If I'm being honest with you, I just go into it with that Italica Lira mindset, and that's all I think about when I smell this one. So as soon as I smelled it, I was like, yeah, that smells like Lira. And it's such a beautiful fragrance. It lasts a very long time as well. Lira for me had always been not beast mode per se, but I got 8 to 10 hours. This one is on the lower end of that. So I would say 7 or 8 hours, which is negligible. It's pretty much the same. Not pretty strongly concentrated, I would say, but it's not a 1-to-1 match with Lira as far as the performance goes. But you smell this in the air, it smells exactly like Lira. It's an amazing fragrance. This one you could also find on the TikTok shop, but I think you can find this one on Amazon as well. There must be some places you can find this one. I think Valencia Perfumes in Florida carries it. They'll ship it to you. Awesome scent. Sapphire Ivory. I think there's also one called Ruby, and I think there's one called Emerald. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Sapphire one is the one that smells like Lira by Casa Morati. Nevertheless, 5 affordable fragrances that smell very expensive, and they're all really high quality. You know, I'm not going to recommend something that is cheap, but it's also cheaply made, right? So some of these are 40 bucks, 33 bucks. Khamrah Qahwa you can find on Amazon for a good price. I think I bought mine on Amazon. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you find a new favorite. Which of these have you tried? If you've tried any of these, drop your comment down below. I always love the interaction, and I read every single comment. I always do my best to reply, but I'm juggling 4 or 5 social media platforms, so I can't always get around to replying to every single comment, and I hope I have your sympathy there. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and of course, if you took anything of value from today's episode, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. Thank you again so much for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.